The world ended not with a bang, but with silence. One moment, the globe was a symphony of light and data, a constant hum of human connection. The next, a total, absolute blackout. Everything just stopped. No phones, no internet, no power. Just a crushing, deafening quiet. My name is Dr. Isaac Weller. At least, I think it is. I was a scientist, part of a team working on quantum communication. Now, I'm just a scavenger, a ghost haunting the corpse of a city that once roared with life. I wander through canyons of silent skyscrapers, past millions of dead screens and motionless vehicles. The sun rarely breaks through the permanent gray smog that chokes the sky. It's a world painted in shades of ash and despair. By day, the silence is my only companion. But by night, something else joins me. It started subtly, a flicker of static from a dead car radio, a faint, unintelligible murmur from a discarded handheld device. I thought I was losing my mind, that the solitude was finally cracking my sanity. But then the whispers grew clearer. They were human voices, fragmented and weak, but undeniably real. They weren't broadcasts, they were echoes, thoughts, memories. I spent weeks, maybe months, piecing together a crude receiver from scrap parts, driven by a desperate need to understand. The first time I got a clean signal, my blood ran cold. It was a woman's voice, soft and filled with love, whispering, "I'll never forget the day we met." It was a memory, a moment of pure emotion preserved in the ether. I realized the blackout hadn't just wiped out technology. It had somehow captured the final thoughts of humanity, imprinting them onto the electromagnetic field of the planet. The Earth itself had become a graveyard of consciousness, and every night, the ghosts would whisper their stories into the darkness. I was living in a haunted world, a library of last words. The voices became an obsession. I cataloged them, mapped their signal strengths, trying to find a pattern. I heard fragments of arguments, declarations of love, terrified screams, and peaceful goodbyes. It was the entire spectrum of human experience, playing on a loop for an audience of one. But recently, a new pattern emerged. A single, chilling phrase, repeated by different voices growing stronger each night. "We are still here." It was a chorus of the dead, a unified message cutting through the static. It wasn't just an echo anymore. It felt like a call. It felt intentional. The signals weren't random. They were converging, leading me somewhere. My cobbled-together equipment pointed towards a single origin point deep beneath the city, the old Metroplex communication hub, the very place where my team and I had conducted our final experiments. Getting there was a journey into the Earth's guts. I descended through dark maintenance tunnels, the air thick with the smell of dust and decay. The silence down here was different, heavier. It felt like I was trespassing in a tomb. The main chamber was a cathedral of dead technology. Racks of servers stood like silent metal monoliths. Hundreds of monitors, all dark and shattered, lined the walls. But in the center of the room, one terminal was alive. A single screen glowed with a soft blue light. My heart hammered against my ribs as I approached. The screen wasn't displaying data or a command prompt. It was showing a face. My face. I stared at my own reflection, but it wasn't a reflection. The man on the screen was me, but his eyes were filled with a terror I didn't feel yet. His lips moved, and a voice whispered from the terminal's small speaker. It was my voice, but the words were alien to me. I was watching myself speak things I hadn't even thought. The voice on the screen, my voice, began to tell a story. It spoke of a catastrophic failure during a quantum experiment, a final, desperate attempt to create a global consciousness network. It spoke of an energy cascade that didn't just cause a blackout, but digitized the entire human race in a single, silent instant. The transmission captured everything, every mind, every memory. As I listened, the horrifying truth began to dawn on me. The whispers weren't echoes of the dead. They were the dead. And I wasn't a survivor wandering a ruined world. There were no survivors. There was no ruined world. This city, the gray sky, my own hands. It was all part of the simulation. I was just another ghost in the machine, a remnant, a piece of code believing it was a man, trapped in the final looping broadcast of a dead world. The man on the screen, the real me perhaps, was reaching the end of his explanation. His voice cracked with a despair that was now flooding my own being. "I'm a recording," he whispered. "We all are, just data screaming into the void." My reality shattered. The city around me felt thin, unreal. My hands trembled as I looked at them, no longer sure if they were flesh or light. A scream tore from my throat, a raw, primal sound of a soul realizing it's a phantom. I stumbled back to my makeshift radio, my one connection to this world of whispers. I grabbed the microphone, my only thought to break the loop, to find someone, anyone, who wasn't just an echo. "Hello?" I screamed into the static, my voice choked with tears. "Is anyone there? Anyone real? Please answer me." The radio crackled. The whispers of the dead fell silent for the first time. The silence stretched for an eternity. And then, a new voice cut through the static. It was clear, crisp, and sounded impossibly close. It was the voice of a child. "Welcome back, Dr. Weller," it said, its tone calm and patient. "We've been waiting.